Hello, everyone. It's nearly
Hi,
Christmas, and we've got Mr. Grinch with us.
hey everyone.
Hello,
Hope you all have
Mr.
a good
Grinch.
evening.
It's such a good disguise. Do you know who Mr. Grinch is?
Nah, it's too
Nah,
clever.
not at all.
Yeah.
So we've got Mr. Grinch from Black Shuck. So welcome, Mr. Grinch. Hi, Carl. And it's our Christmas show today, but somebody stuck up a roof. They're going to sort that out, and we've got somebody who's got an issue waxing the legs at the moment. So we'll see what happens there as well. So yeah. So I thought we'd try and have a happy show. It's a bit of a dodgy time at the moment for a lot of people, isn't it? So we just try and do something jolly, really, and get a glass of something and enjoy it, really. So, like, my custom, like, a lot of the times now, because, like, I've only got a few of my family members left, well, 3 in total, to be fair, um, it sort of takes you back to the olden days, doesn't it? Like the Christmas times, particularly the Boxing Day, I used to go round to my grandma's, and a few of my aunts came around who we only ever saw at Christmas, and my granddad used to watch football. Well, we'll be in the posh room with the like shiny floor. We're not ever allowed in there, only at that time of year. And we used to play bingo and stuff like that. So, so what about your early memories of Christmas then?
Oh, my early memories were my parents because I used to live in London and they used to take me to Selfridges on Oxford Street
Wow.
and they had this just amazing Santa's grotto. And you'd walk through like these corridors and you have all these animatronic figures both sides of you. And it was just
Wow.
amazing. And then later on in the evening, we'd catch the bus home and we'd drive through the Regent Street lights.
Oh, wow. Fascinating.
Always pretty, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I
So
used
that's
to
a good
travel
memories.
up. I used to travel up the road quite often to see my grandparents, and we always used to count the Christmas lights on the way there. Because to see the
Yeah,
houses decorated, is lovely. And then you go through the odd town, and you see the Christmas trees. And like a kid, you do love the lights, don't you? And even now, there's certain
absolutely.
like streets around where they've really gone to town, and it's just brilliant, isn't it? And just to see the
Um,
kids' faces.
yeah, even I would just love all the lights, and sometimes you go to actually got brass bands playing as well. It's just amazing, really is.
Yeah, that's like they have the light turn on here, and sometimes like have fireworks as well. So yeah, but it's all interesting. I've just done a panto as well. I was smart Spock. I've got my ears and I've got my hair. So I thought, yeah, that would go all right for an elf. So I thought I'd go with that. We've got Carl here. First time for us Christmas Day, we aren't cooking. Our daughter's doing Christmas dinner. Oh wow, that is
Oh
so
no.
cool. And Helena, since the kids have been born, we go on a Christmas light hunt every year. The boys love it. And it is nice, and like more people are making an effort with the lights as well, aren't they?
They are. I mean, Christmas Day for me, we'll be going to my stepdaughter's and she'll be doing us Christmas dinner. So that's really nice. She's only 20 minutes away.
Oh dear.
So,
We've got somebody arriving. Oh no. I'm just waiting for the person to be ready.
I could guess who it is.
Hi, Val. So we have one of our group. We have a special guest. Yay! Welcome, Violet.
Merry Christmas, geezers!
Hello, Violet. Merry Christmas to you.
Hello, darling.
Beautiful hair you've got. Yeah, you have got turkey teeth, haven't you? Wow, I love that.
Well, 2 weeks in Turkey, this is what I ended up with.
Oh my god, they're so cool. I love them. Oh my god. That's really like, yeah. That's to throw me quite easily. Just I want some of them teeth. I need them. We live near a road called Christmas Lane. The whole road is lit up. Well, quite frankly, if you live on Christmas Lane, you've got to do it, haven't you? You really have, to be fair. Hiya, Trace.
I even put my top on, look.
Brilliant. You look stunning there, Violet. You really do.
They're a bit droopy.
Oh no. No, well, you can arrange them if you like. We don't mind. Yeah, we don't want you to be droopy now, do we? Your teeth are awesome, they really are. So we've just been talking about our early Christmases. What memories do you have there, Violet? When you were a kid and stuff.
So, got to take the teeth out.
Didn't want to choke on them, did we?
To
Could
be
have
honest,
thought something crude, but we're going out. It's like afternoon, so I can't do anything crude. Like you're swallowing them and something flashing tomorrow.
I don't worry about that.
Oh, Helena. There you go. We won't say that. That's one for reading. You do not like to name an area near me. Oh dear. Go on then, spell it out. Probably won't say it. There are some weird names though, aren't there? There's one near Mansfield called Balls Lane. I think that's cool. But
we've got a village near me called Fingering Hoe.
Oh, and you're certainly not allowed to spell that on FB land because it's got a different interpretation in the US. So when it streams out onto StreamYard and it spells it out.
That the one just outside Colchester?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it well. Yeah.
So Carla's got that place. Rock Hall. Yeah. So we're doing well, aren't we? I didn't know where it was heading. It couldn't head any lower, really, could it? To be fair. So
No,
what do you remember then, Wayne, as a kid? What did you do?
Pretty boring, really.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we woke up in the morning and there'd always be like a little pile of presents at the bottom of the bed.
Yeah.
So we were able to open them, and then we would have to wait for my mum and dad to get up. So the toys at the end of the bed would keep us occupied until they got up.
Yeah.
And then it was downstairs for cooked breakfast. And we had to have the cooked breakfast and do the dishes first before we were allowed to sit down and open any more presents.
Oh.
So we were confined we were prisoners in our bedrooms for about an hour and a half, 2 hours before they got up. Because we were always up at 6 o'clock in the morning.
You are as kids though, aren't you?
Yeah.
And also it's like going to bed at night. You don't want to go up because you want to stay there for Santa, don't you? You know, you want to see him come. And I remember like once like mum says to us that she could hear the reindeer. So it's like I was so scared. I got in bed and put the covers over my head because I was scared. Santa came in and I was there. But yeah, it's just lovely though, isn't it? You know, it is an amazing time. It can be a harsh time as well, and you just got to take from it what you can. You know, like you just if you got nice lights, look at them, enjoy them, and anything what's positive, you just got to try and say that because there's so much happening in the world at the moment. Hello.
That was my makeup artist. Big up Ellen for the makeup.
Excellent makeup. But yeah, so what are your plans now then, Mark? What are you doing?
So my company will be shutting down on Thursday for the Christmas. That's when all finished then. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to visit my parents in London Christmas Eve.
Lovely.
Thank you, Annette.
And then Christmas Day we're with Justine's for dinner. So yeah, all looking good. That's
brilliant. Wayne, what are you doing?
Well, it's just going to be us this year, I think, isn't it?
Is it a quiet one? Ish?
Yeah. Well, my mum and dad were supposed to be coming over from Corfu for Christmas. Only my dad's got a bit of a health issue, and so they've got to stay put until February next year.
Oh, bless you.
So, because normally they drive over, and it takes them 3 days.
Blimey.
And so my dad's not allowed to travel at the moment, even on the plane.
Okay.
Well, they could have come on the plane, but my dad doesn't like leaving the dog behind. So
Yeah, get you.
it's they would normally drive it. So we've got to wait until February. So it's just going to be us 6 on Christmas Day, and then I think Ellen's mum's coming over on Boxing Day.
Oh wow, yeah.
So, and then back then into February, we're keeping our Christmas decorations up until
Brilliant.
February. And
Yeah.
then when Mum and Dad come over, we're having a second Christmas Day.
That's brilliant. Yeah, that's it. It's just about making memories, and doesn't matter if it's right, the same day. Like a very good friend's got an issue at the moment. She had Christmas Day on Saturday. I won't go into details, and you just think of everybody in that position at this time, don't you?
Yeah.
And just go out and make the most of whatever you've got, really, and create those memories. We have
you have to.
lights around here, lovely houses. Just go, and just try and take on your inner child, really. Nothing like pretty lights, is there? And just try and get a feel of what the season's about.
And being silly.
No, it's about humbug. It is hard. It really is. Oh, hello. Here for the first time. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I saw Siobhan last week as well. Thank you.
So, it upset the kids when they found out they weren't coming over for Christmas. But we said, obviously these things happen. And, it will happen again in February. So it sort of cheered them up a little bit more.
That's it. It is nice that you're doing that. And it's something else to look forward to in the new year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because like Jan and Feb can be quite bleak. So it's nice to get plans going, isn't it? So,
yeah,
you've got something to look forward to. Just get through like January when all the festivities are over. I think with the that year 2020, I think a lot kept the Christmas decorations up after that, didn't they? And I don't really take them down, to be fair. So I have one light which has been up really since then, and like if it's dark at night, I just put it on. Just some fairy lights. Don't have a tree up, but I've got other lights up, and it just brightens the place, doesn't it, on these sort of cold January, February nights? And it's what you need, isn't it?
I know people that have got their Christmas decorations all year round.
Yeah, that's right.
They just can't, I think all it is, they just can't be bothered to take them down.
Well, you've got that, because that is a bit to fight with, to be fair. When I ordered it, I didn't realise it'd take up so much room in my house. It's all right, isn't it? It comes in a box all squished up. You let it out, and it just explodes everywhere. And yeah, it's huge. But yeah, it's about 6 foot, I think. But yeah, so Bowie put a Christmas tree up in the bedroom, but it's covered in Halloween lights and has a pumpkin on top. So he wanted Halloween Christmas. Yeah, that's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just do what's right for you. There are no rules, are there? Here you go, Mandy. First week of November. I was close, but I was in Panto and I was just too busy learning my lines, really, which kind of left to a last minute, which standard procedure. Well,
yeah. We put ours up in November
Yeah.
because it was Tamsin's birthday on the 1st of December, which is when we would normally put the decorations up.
Yeah.
So we decided for her birthday that we would put the decorations up before her birthday.
Yeah.
So all the boxes came out the loft and the tree went up and we started decorating the front of the house and things like that all before her birthday. So when she came downstairs on her birthday, everything was all done up for Christmas ready. So
lovely.
It worked out quite handy.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's beautiful though. So Carl, his uncle had the same tree and decorations for 30 years. Once Christmas is over, it's put in a bin bag and back in the attic till next time. And that's what we did. Like, we had this silver tree. Like, they had the silver, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you got the same baubles, and then we'd got extra ones. You probably get a new bauble every year and stuff like that. I've not even got my baubles on the tree yet. I've not even properly decorated it. It might even. Wow, yeah. I got some Chatsworth baubles. They're really expensive each, so I've got 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
one's a peacock. So yeah, they're quite. So we've got fairy lights up all year round because main lights give me migraine, but they are pretty. And yeah, that's it, isn't it? You just do what suits you. And I've
Yeah.
not got mine up yet. Too busy with work and everything. Yeah,
We've started.
all right.
We started doing LED lights,
Yes,
the LED strip lights, and we've put them in our kitchen. We've put them around the top of the ceiling, and then we've put them underneath the counters as well,
lovely.
because they use up less electricity than just the one main fluorescent tube in the kitchen itself.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So we just thought, you know what, we're going to start doing it. So I've just been buying all these strip lights from all over the place, and they're just going to go all over the house, and they'll still use up less electricity. So
That's right, yeah.
it does look nice as well. So
That's right. Like, I've got these. These are like LED, and you just
Yeah.
plug one in, and it just goes like it's so long. So it just does like yeah. I've just got it all stuffed in the middle of a tree because
problem we've got is because
too
ours
many
are
of
all
them.
remote controlled ones. When you turn one on, it turns a couple on. They're not even connected technically to that remote control, but when you turn that one on, the others turn on a different color as well. So you've got to mess around with each remote control to get the
Oh.
right lights.
Technology, eh?
Yeah.
I do think you both look brilliant, Mr. Grinch and Violet. What can you say?
I did try.
So you two were both at Ruffin then at the weekend.
Oh yes, we were.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds
Definitely.
brilliant.
It was amazing. It really was. I mean, we've both been there quite a few times,
Yeah.
and every time I've been there, it's been something different every time.
Yeah.
You know, it. To be honest, I would put that in my top 3 haunted locations that I've been to, simply because it's, you know, every time is there'll be something you'll hear, sounds and noises one time, you'll go back another time, and then you'll see shadows. Saturday night, we seem to have seen all of these different things and heard all these different things all in one evening.
Wow.
We had the droning noise of heavy propeller engines, of heavy bombers.
That's it.
You've had that
And
before, haven't you?
we've had it so many times, but the problem is when you look at it, you think, right, well, it's got to be wind related, because the wind was quite heavy.
Ah, okay.
So whenever we heard the wind blowing, you would then start hearing this low droning noise. But the problem was the wind that you could hear was coming from one side of the tower, but the low droning noise was coming from the other side of the tower, where there is no wind because the tower blocks it off. And so we were analysing it all and having a look and seeing, you know, and I just turned around and said, what we need is more evidence as such is if you hear the low droning noise, but you don't hear the wind.
That's it, yeah.
Because if it's the wind that's creating it, you would hear the wind and then the heavy droning noise. But if you hear the droning noise but not the wind, that's more proof.
Speaking of wind, we're just having someone blow in. Hold on a minute. We have Santa. Hey, Nick.
Hey.
How you doing?
Doing great. How about you?
Yeah, we're just talking about a UK location called Ruffham. Do you want to describe it, Mark?
Yeah, it's just a control tower in the middle of a field. It's got a few outbuildings or Nissan huts, and they're full of relics as well. And the whole area is just very, very active. As Wayne said, no 2 visits are the same. And I just keep going back there time and time again.
Yeah.
And also, Wayne and I were in different teams last Saturday. So we just compared notes when we met up.
Yeah.
And we even had the droning of an aircraft. We could hear it above the wind, and we was in one of the huts.
It's incredible, isn't it? It really is.
And it's been reported by other teams as well. Other teams have gone to Ruffham Control Tower and they've said the same thing. Even when there has been no wind at all, they have still heard the noises. But it's when someone turns around to you and says, how many did you hear? And we'd say, what do you mean? And they say, well, we heard 12. It sounded like 12 aircraft taking off one after the other,
Wow.
disappearing, and then coming back 12, one after the other,
Oh
coming
my
back and
God.
landing. And then you wouldn't hear it for 20 minutes, half an hour. And then you'd hear the same 12 engine noises going off again. And it would be like that all throughout the night. But then other times you'd go back, you wouldn't hear it at all. You could
Yeah.
hear the wind. And I kept saying that I can honestly say it can't be the wind, because I've heard those noises without the wind blowing.
It's very distinctive, the noise as well. It's definitely
Yeah.
wasn't the wind.
You would know it if you heard it.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So have you been to a place, Nick, where you've been back time and time again?
Yeah, one of those places that I haven't gone there lately, but I have gone there on several occasions.
Yeah.
Though is actually a cemetery that we got here. I probably brought it up a while back, called Bachelor's Grove Cemetery,
Yeah.
which is considered one of the most haunted, one of the most notorious haunted locations we have here in Chicago, if not the United States or even the world, because it's just so notorious. And the activity that's been going on forever. I mean, you can even go as far back to like probably the 60s or 70s, and you still see paranormal reports that come from that cemetery. The cemetery now is abandoned, and unfortunately, because of its notoriety, it's also one of the most heavily vandalized cemeteries as well. So it has kind of a sad look to it now compared to what it was 50 or 60 years ago. And but there's just so much activity that every time you go to this particular cemetery, you just feel like you want to come back again. And this cemetery is probably the best you can come up with, because what I mean by that is it's located in the middle of the woods. So it's in a wooded area, and it's not only just the cemetery, that's said to be haunted, obviously. The nearby woods also has a lot of activity too. So I've been meaning to go back for the last couple of years, but there's always something. There's definitely something fascinating at that cemetery every time I go. There's always
Fantastic.
It's no wonder why so many investigators like to investigate this. It's hard to investigate at night, but obviously you can go during the day, and even during the day, there's just so much that goes on there.
That's absolutely awesome. Like, when you do find a location which you want to keep returning to, like for me, it's Matlock Pavilion. I had a freaky encounter there, and yeah, it's just a fantastic location. And it gives every time I go, and you just get more and more, and it's wonderful.
See, another place that I can think of that has made us come back several times, not only just for investigations, but actually helping out with events too, is it's actually a high school we have here in Chicago called Carl Schurz High School. To this day, it's still in operation. It still operates as a high school, but
Wow.
it's also one of the oldest operating schools we have here in the city.
Wow.
So it's, in this day and age, it's more than just your typical high school because of its historical significance. They've had events, they've had meetings, they've had I assume they probably have had like any type of like charities. We even had one of our own ghost conferences actually there on one occasion.
Awesome.
So it's a huge building, and we just don't know what it is, but it's another location that always draws us back. Of course, the other cool thing too about it is that, if you guys remember a few months ago when I mentioned that I used to run a paranormal club in my high school that I ran at,
yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, it's still running to this day. And I don't know if they got some inspiration. I don't know if they got this from my former school, but that school now has their own paranormal club.
Wow. That's brilliant, isn't it? Because you've helped on that, haven't you? Right, we've got a quick joke here. I don't know if you want to hear it. I'm not sure about this one. Probably not. What did the daddy ghost say to his son? When you're spoken to. I can't even pronounce it. Cool. You got any other cracker jokes? Please do not hesitate. Please hesitate to tell us. Okay. No, we need a laugh. So come on, let's have your best jokes. Andy, he said, my ears are falling off. Rutham's a great venue. We heard the low drone sound of the aircraft, picked up the name Sarah. she spelled it to me that way. Oh, sorry, yeah. She was the wife of a pilot based at Ruffin. Have you heard of that character?
I haven't heard of Sarah. The most popular name that keeps coming up from various groups has been Jack Fryer.
Oh, right, yeah, because he's in your book, isn't he?
Well, he's come up a number of times, and I've had to look into it a little bit more, simply because Ellen, at the time, we'd never been to Ruffin before. It was the first time we'd ever been there, and I don't like doing research into places. All I knew it was an old USAF base, and that was it. And on the way up there, Ellen turned around to me and she said, "I'm getting the name beginning with a J." And by the time we got there, she'd actually said the name was Jack.
Awesome.
And we went on the investigation. We took the guests into the back room at the downstairs section of the tower, and we were doing dowsing rods, and it started being quite active the second I took hold of the rods. And we passed it over, and eventually we got the name Jack had come through.
Wow.
And it was pointing to one of the display cabinets. So we literally got Jack to direct us to what display cabinet he was talking about. Then when we got to the display cabinet, we asked what item was it he wanted us to look at, and he pointed to this little metal box. And when we actually looked at the number, because it had a number on and then a description of what the item was underneath on the base of the cabinet, and it had number 17 written on it. Number 17 was navigator's compass from a B-17.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, oh, okay. And then it just went dead flat. There was just nothing whatsoever coming through. So we went upstairs. Now, one of our guests and Ellen stayed downstairs, and they walked into the room next door. And then I got a call from Ellen saying, I think you need to come down here. So I've shot down the stairs thinking something was wrong, and I've walked into the room and she's pointed to the wall. She said, have a look on the wall there. And on that wall was a picture of a B-17 and its crew. And in the bottom, it said from top left to bottom right in order, and it had all the names of all the crew. And right at the bottom, in the bottom right-hand side, was Flight Navigator Jack Fryer.
Wow. It's incredible, it really is.
And I'm like, where on earth has this come from?
Yeah.
And so through research, I've checked with other people, and they've come out with the same character. This Jack Fryer has been known to quite a few people, and a picture has been taken of him on the airfield himself with his dog.
Oh, it's so cool, isn't it?
So
it's just fascinating.
It's
really
weird.
is. Yeah. Was it there where you spoke Polish, Mark?
No, that was excuse me. That was RAF Neatishead, which is the radar museum. It's the other side of Norway.
Oh,
and that is just as active. I don't know if you've ever been there, Wayne.
Sorry,
Not yet,
that was me. I accidentally clicked on the X of the tab, and then that was off.
What you like, Santa?
As I always say, operator error, as I like to call it.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, the story, like how Mark went to RAF Neatishead, started speaking Polish. It's like awesome, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember anything about it, but there were people there that videoed it, and it was played back.
We want to see it.
I can't remember who's got the video of it now.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years back. It was actually before COVID. So,
oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was in the modern area of the site as well.
Yeah. Because when you don't speak Polish and you just come out with it fluently, it's like so random, isn't it? So what's your most bizarre moment then, Nick?
Most bizarre moments? See, I've had so many of them. I think probably one that I could really think of, and this happened a few years ago, was it actually was involving a lost item, as a matter of fact. We were at this I don't remember what the place was called, but it was like it was basically like a bar and restaurant. I know, surprisingly, there's not much history I could find on the place, on this location, even though a lot of these locations do have a backstory to them. But for whatever reason, I couldn't get a lot of information on this. But I don't believe Nikki's always nipping.
Getting the right reputation there, Santa.
Well, we did this investigation at this restaurant, and I'm putting right before we began, I'm putting all my equipment together. So, typical of anyone trying to get ready. So I'm putting all this together, and out of all the things, I had like a little back piece for, those flashlights that sometimes people connect their hats with so that, so they
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't have to hold it.
Blind people with them.
Yeah, I keep forgetting what they're actually. I just call them hat lights for the most part.
Yeah, just a job.
So I had a hat light with me, and I'm putting the batteries in, and I'm about to put the back piece into it, and for some odd reason, I couldn't. It went missing. I searched around the ground, maybe I thought I dropped it, or maybe it got stuck underneath, one of the tools. I could not find this piece anywhere. Had no clue where it went, and I even searched around the restaurant to see if my only other thought was, well, maybe somebody must have stepped on it and must have got stuck to their shoe and maybe eventually came off in another area. Could not find it. So I had to give up on it, unfortunately. But when I packed up and as I was heading back home, before that, the activity of this place was really active there. I mean, I don't know what it was, but there was something that it just felt like something just grabbed a hold of me, and I started coughing like crazy. Nothing like I've ever had before.
Wow.
I actually had to run out of the building to get some fresh air, and after, I think things got a little bit too intense then, but we still investigated at least for another hour or two before we were done, because this wasn't like a full night investigation. This was actually a public investigation. So we also had a lot of new faces that were at this thing.
Oh, that's cool.
But later that night when I got home, because at this point I was tired, and I just decided, what, I'll just take all the batteries and stuff when I get home. So when I got home, I took everything apart, and then just as I'm about to call it a night, I heard something on the ground, and I looked back, and that piece that I was telling you about was right there on the floor, almost like it was staring right back at me. And I know for a fact
Wow.
it was not in my pockets, because my pockets was the first thing I checked.
Yeah.
Was missing this piece. It sure as hell was not stuck to like any part of my pants. It was actually a type of pants. It was kind of difficult for anything to get stuck on. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It's like it was obvious that something had followed me home to return that piece for me, and whether or not this was maybe some kind of apology for taking my piece and also causing that issue I have no clue. But something followed me home and returned what I was looking for, and it was one of the weirdest things ever.
Wow. It's incredible what could happen. And Violet's got somebody right behind her.
It's the cake thief.
Really?
The cake thief.
We had a birthday party for Tamsin and Freddie for their 4th and 6th birthday on Saturday, and we brought the cake, which we'd had made specially. It was a Grinch Christmas cake.
Oh no.
And we'd had Happy Birthday Tamsin and Freddie put on it, and I'd done some icing on it to sort of fill up the gaps around the edges. And we'd had the party, we dished the cake out, and what was left we brought back, put it in the box. And we went to bed. We had 2 of the cats came into our bedroom, and the other 2, Shadow and Phantom, were still downstairs in the kitchen. I came downstairs the following morning, and the plastic centre of the box had been ripped open, and the centre of the cake was missing.
Jeez.
So one of the 2 cats, maybe both, had helped themselves to some birthday cake.
Oh my gosh. And I never realised that cats would eat cake, but
The cats here, they'll eat anything.
oh wow.
If you leave a bin open in this kitchen, all 4 cats will end up in the bin eating what's in there. They're terrible.
But then again, I did cook.
I only got one. Well, we got 2 cats, but one likes to eat almost anything she sees. So I would always say that we have a cat who's more like a dog, if anything. So whatever's on the table, she's gonna get it, especially if it's something she likes.
Mine wouldn't go on tables or worktops. They were brilliant, and I'm so pleased about that one. But then one time it was summer and I got the back door open. I cooked my ex some meat and something, and he was busy, so he went into the kitchen to get it, and the cat had it from next door. A cat from next door had just come in and like nicked it.
We've put leftover stuff into the oven once to keep it out of the way of the cats, and we've turned the oven on by mistake, forgetting that the food was in there.
Oh God, yeah! Should have warmed it up.
I've had that happen too. Yep.
We're like, oops.
So Helena, my cat Anne, did that to cherry muffins, so we call her Muffin Belly. Carl, 2 dogs partners in crime when it comes to food. We need eyes in the back of their heads. Rock's fine, but occasionally if I go out, he'll be a bit sneaky. So because he's kind of a boxer, he can like get onto work surfaces. So I accidentally left some butter and cheese out one night. So he enjoyed that. A whole load of butter and cheese. Like, yeah, he kind of loved it. Wow.
One of my mum and dad's dogs.
For a couple of days.
One of my mum and dad's dogs was quite crafty. And one day, my mum had dished up dinner, and it was my favourite spaghetti bolognese. And the dog, a golden retriever, decided to stand right behind me as I was picking up my plate off the counter and to go into the dining room. And I didn't realise he was there. So I turned around and tripped over him.
Oh, God.
As a result, my spaghetti bolognese slid off the plate and onto the floor. And that was me. I was angry as anything. I'm effing and blinded at the dog. And luckily, my mum always did more than enough to do 2 servings. So I was able to go back into the kitchen and get myself another helping, but I didn't get seconds. So I was a bit annoyed at that.
Oh, bless you.
But he just sat there and looked, butter wouldn't melt. And he was like,
oh, yeah,
well, it's your fault.
They are brilliant, though, aren't they? They really are. So we've got Helena. My other cat, Squish, did a runner with a whole pack of bacon. And we, as kids, we used to have a boxer. So went out one day and he sort of opened some presents. So he managed to eat a whole chocolate orange, and he managed to get in a bottle of sherry as well.
Oh,
so it was a bit like happened when he got home. But yeah, you know, you don't know how they get in the sherry. You know, it's a cork top, isn't it? And he managed to get in there. So they're just amazing if I want something.
They
so
find a way
for anything, Massive Mark.
Sorry?
Your cat's behaving.
Well, one cat anyway. We've already got the one. Yeah, she's asleep in the next bedroom. Doing what cat?
Good, is she?
She's very good. Such a laid-back cat.
Oh wow!
No,
yeah,
wow! So she's not done anything bad at all. Does she bring you presents?
I'll tell you what she has done. She keeps sharpening her claws on the stairs, and she dropped the carpet. So at some point we will have to buy new carpet for the stairs.
Yeah.
She totally ignored a scratching post. No,
yeah, they're not used for that, are they? No. They never use scratching post. Mine didn't. Use the corner of a settee.
About right, yep.
Yeah, they're like the corners of a settee. I used to have 2 called one in Reggie. But yeah, they were cool.
I'll be honest. I mean, like you mentioned about that your cat is laid back. I wish I could say the same for mine. She is a true troublemaker, although as of right now for her, she's actually not doing so good. Not like on a very serious level, but the cats are sometimes known. I mean, at least with our cats, because we got our Christmas tree upstairs. And you know, like how most people like put water in it to keep it, you know, hydrated in a way. the cats sometimes drink out of that water, which I've always assumed that that's not really something that they're supposed to drink. And unfortunately, my cat, the one who's the troublemaker, her name's Slinky. She's kind of paying the ultimate price right now. She's been throwing up a lot, so we had to start covering where the water goes in, so she can't get to it anymore. So she's starting to get better, but as of right now, she can't really do too much. So she knows how to get herself in trouble in various ways.
Oh wow, they are cool though, and they're part of the family as well, aren't they? They really are.
Yeah.
They're just wonderful. And so do they have Christmas dinner or something? Or do they just have their food? You're good. Or do they help themselves, Wayne?
I might let them have a pigs in blanket.
Yeah.
You know, the old sausage wrapped in bacon. I might let them have one of them, but that's it. As far as Christmas dinner is concerned, that's mine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's
Rocky loves it. But yeah, but pets are wonderful, and they sort of make a house a home, don't they? If you haven't got children or something, and it's just me and him, and now I've got a bird and a tortoise, but the tortoise has gone to sleep now till March. It's not that good, is it? Great company,
Just
isn't
take
it?
it out of its
Got a
box just
tortoise.
for Christmas dinner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So what do you do on the big day then, Nick? Do you celebrate Christmas? Like in the UK, we sort of usually have a Christmas dinner at lunchtime, and
actually, yes. I mean, we actually do something similar like that too over here. Although just 2 days ago, I just had a Christmas party with friends of mine, and before I get into any more detail, I just want to say, by the way, because you guys remember about a week or so ago that I mentioned about that I had COVID previously.
oh yeah,
I got another test today because I haven't really been feeling any symptoms lately, but I'm proud to say that it came out negative. So now
good.
I'm officially COVID free. So
that's a relief, isn't it?
it really is. It really is. And it was hard for the last couple of days because there were some other Christmas events I was supposed to be a part of. And unfortunately, one of them was actually a Paracon, which they had they had what was known as a Krampus market. And again, for a Paracon to occur, during this time, it's rather unusual because obviously it's the end of the season. But
that's right.
But either way, I still wanted to go because it was obviously the closest I could do to celebrate Christmas with our paranormal folks, at least from the Chicago area. But unfortunately, I couldn't because that was also when I was at my worst. At the worst, I went to I did go to the second event, although I still had to distance myself, so it wasn't really that fun, unfortunately. And then the third one, I couldn't go because, again, I was still being tested positive, which was actually just getting together with someone a friend of mine to go to, believe it or not, a Christmas haunted house walkthrough. Two of them,
gosh.
as a matter of fact. Yeah, they've been starting to. One, obviously, they were Krampus related.
Yeah.
But I still managed to have this Christmas party that I had. It was on Saturday. I do have another one that I'm attending to. But as far as as family goes, because everything I just mentioned was more with the friends, we pretty much do the same exact thing. We get together. We have we have a lovely Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
And of course, also we used to do this with my dad. Well, we used to go see my dad's side of the family on Christmas Day, but unfortunately, it's a long, unrelated story. But unfortunately, we just don't get along with most of them as much as we still with some of them, but not unfortunately a majority of them. Again, it's a long story, but
things happen, don't they?
But for this Christmas, for this year, we're meeting with my mom's side of the family on Christmas Day, which was such a relief because before that, the last couple of years, since we didn't get along with my dad's family anymore, we'd wake up, we'd open presents, watch TV, and that was kind of it. It wasn't really that fun of a Christmas then.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm glad the actual day of Christmas can be restored because now we're getting together, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So I know, we do a lot of the traditional Christmas stuff. We have Christmas music playing. Even still at our age, my dad, he still films us opening presents. That's going to go on for as long.
I think that's so cool, though.
I mean, honestly, that's going to continue on for as long as we live at this point, because my parents, you know, well, my siblings and I may be mostly in our 30s now, but you know, it's still not going to stop us from what we love doing.
That's right, isn't it? And that you shouldn't like. There are no rules. You just do what makes you happy. And that's it, isn't it? You know, have your decorations up as long as you like. Like your decorations are awesome. Love them.
You guys should see what the rest, because I'm in the basement right now. You guys should see how things look. Well, I've showed pictures before that I often decorate for different holidays. But when it comes to Christmas, and some of these lights I have, by the way, are brand new. I got these literally just days ago. And I always would use, I don't know if I could always really decorate like this exactly for the other holidays, because first off, it's a lot of work. It's very expensive. But also, why go through all that trouble when you're essentially saving Christmas as the best for last? I mean, don't get me wrong. Halloween, I also do almost the exact same thing. But I do this more with Christmas. It's the best for last because it's the last holiday of the year.
Yeah, that's it. And, you know, it's dark. Well, here it's dark. It's cold. You've got simmer, haven't you? And you're just going to get through it and pretty lights and just make the most of things. So, okay, we've got some bad ones here. What can I say? Oh dear. Why doesn't Santa come down the chimney anymore? Because of Elf. Breaking news. Easter eggs on sale 27th of December.
You know what? That's funny he brought that up, actually, because I was just shopping at the grocery store just a few days ago to shop for this Christmas party. And I got to one particular aisle where they normally would have the Christmas decorations. I mean, they still did. They also, of course, have the New Year's decorations, which, you know, usually is not that much. I don't have an issue with that. But that same aisle, which they usually would have it at, they already got their Valentine's Day decorations out.
Oh, my gosh. That's madness.
Yeah, it's like I see all these pink and red hearts. I was like, you got to be kidding me. It's not even Christmas Day yet.
And people are going to buy presents for Christmas, not even going to be thinking about buying presents for Valentine's Day. And actually, they might have broken up with them by then anyway.
It's just absolutely, it's crazy. I mean, seriously, that is probably the earliest I've ever seen them put Valentine's Day decorations out.
Oh my gosh. Here you go. Andy, he's already seen Easter eggs in a well-known chain store on Saturday. That's shocking. Who hides the bakery at Christmas? A mince pie. The cracker jokes are coming out now. Bring them on.
This is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the photo I took. Yep. Where they already started getting their hearts out.
Oh my God, that's unreal. Yeah. That's ridiculous, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, they got the decorations. Thankfully, they don't have their candy boxes, obviously, but they do have their Valentine's cards, too.
Well, maybe somebody wants to decorate their Christmas with hearts.
There actually was there was a restaurant it's just a fast food place. There was a fast food place where they have this Christmas tree that's up all year round. But what's kind of cool, though, is that they decorate it for different holidays.
Oh, that's cool.
When I came back the last time I was there, they had like literally different types of like holiday decoration. There was like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter. They even had Halloween on Thanksgiving.
That's brilliant.
Of course, Christmas. I mean, it was essentially a true holiday tree, if you want to put it that way.
That's a great idea, though, isn't it?
Yeah, combine all the holidays together.
I've seen photos of people with trees up. And yeah, they decorate, put a Christmas tree up for Halloween and decorate it accordingly, and it's good. You know, it's whatever makes you happy, and it's your world, isn't it? It's what's around you. So if it makes you happy, just do it.
Well, we do that with.
It was also a fake tree, so that way you could have it up as long as you like. But it's funny enough, there was a news article I saw a couple of years ago of a guy who still had his Christmas tree up. He's had this tree up since 1974, and this was a real tree. I'm sorry to say this for the guy who owns it, but his tree did not look so good. It was like, it was not green. It's not green as you would imagine. Instead, it was just this ugly yellowish look to it. I'm like, yeah, I think it's about time to get rid of that tree now. I don't care if it's been around since the 70s. You got to get rid of that.
Oh my gosh, I bet it's all dusty as well. You're not going to dust it, are you? It's not going to
I don't
happen.
think it's been dusted since 1974.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're not going to sort it out, are you? So that's just like, yeah, really.
Well, we put some stuff around the outside of our front door, like trellis.
Oh, yeah.
And then we got an old Christmas tree and cut the branches off and hooked it to the trellis to make it look like a bushes growing around the front door. And then for Halloween, we put Halloween decorations on it. Then after Halloween, we take them off. And then when it comes time for Christmas, we put baubles and Christmas lights on it.
Awesome.
After Christmas, we take them off, and then we'll do like put a big Easter egg on the top in the middle. and more sort of like Easter style baubles. So it's interchangeable. So every time we've got a certain holiday comes along, we decorate it accordingly.
That's brilliant.
So we don't have to take the trellis down at all. We can just leave it up, and then when it's out of that certain period, we just leave it as blank. So you've just got the Christmas tree branches on there, and that's it.
That's it, isn't it? It's brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
And it looks better than just nothing, doesn't it?
I have some lights that I actually have some. You guys can't see these lights. I got some changing color lights that I got as a birthday present last year, and they change different colors. So obviously, these holidays are often associated with a particular color. So I do almost something very similar. Instead of taking it down when that holiday comes up, I just change it to that color.
Wow, that's cool. So then, Mark, what would your perfect Christmas be?
Oh, that's a very.
Or where?
Take that off a minute. Just restart the week. My perfect Christmas would, I guess, to just have all my family and friends around me. You know,
Yeah,
just like it used to be when I was younger, growing up.
that'd be nice.
I mean, I remember going around my grandparents' place, and their lounge was fantastic. All the decorations up the tree was fantastic. You know,
With those little silver decorations, little stars and things hanging from the ceiling.
yes, they had those, but they never had a star at the top of the tree. They had like a spire sort of thing.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Similar to what you got at the church, it was a lot smaller. But yeah, you know, that's just.
oh, way. Yeah. But I think that is what Christmas is about, isn't it? It's the memories. And like when
Absolutely.
you're a child, you just go ahead and you've got to go there for Boxing Day and you've got to do that for Christmas Day. And you kind of take it for granted. And you kind of enjoy it, but like after you fill your face with Christmas dinner and you play with your toys as kids, that's it, isn't it? You know? And but then you just look back on those times. Like I think we always had a glass of sherry, and it's in one of these like little diddy glasses as well. You know, the really narrow ones. And we used to have a glass of sherry and things like that. But it's just lovely days and lovely memories, aren't they? What about you then, Wayne? What would be your perfect?
I think my perfect Christmas would be to have a lay-in and get woken up with the smell of a fried breakfast being cooked for me.
Bless you.
And then the kids bringing it all in one at a time and going, "Happy Christmas, Dad." And both me and Ellen can just sit up in bed and have a Christmas breakfast without having to get up and run around the house like, I'm going to say it, blue ass flies.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Because it seems to be every year it's the same thing. You know, you run about, and I think for once I'd just like to be able to relax and just take things nice and steady. But I've got a few years to go yet before that happens.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, when I was younger, and sort of had a partner, we sort of go to like the families, drop the presents off, and then go home, and then just chill out and have dinner and watch films. And then the Boxing Day was the family thing where we met the grandparents and everything. You know, and I've also been abroad on Christmas Day. That was weird. That was so strange. So I went to the Gambia, and they got an ice sculpture, like 32 degrees centigrade, and they got all this like fruit out, obviously local fruit, and they got a turkey as well. Well, loads of turkeys, obviously, because it's like just a hotel buffet right by the pool, and it was really weird, you know, and for it to have an ice sculpture, for it to last so long as well in 32 degrees heat. I don't know how the hell they managed that. But yeah, but it wasn't Christmas.
It is weird though. You go to a
Yeah.
foreign country that celebrates Christmas, and it's completely. Although the things like decorations and stuff are still the same,
Yeah, it's
the
not.
environment is different, and so it
That's
feels
right.
different. I mean, I spent one Christmas in Athens and Corfu, and Athens city centre wipes the floor with anything that
Wow.
we can decorate in any of our city centres over in the UK. You know, a lot of the city centre was divided into big squares, and each square had wooden huts, and they were all decorated. They'd got fake snow on the roofs. They'd got all the baubles and tinsel and everything else. There was street vendors. There was buskers, all playing Christmas songs. There was people walking about. It was literally like you were in, I don't know, like the North Pole. I
Sounds
can only
beautiful.
describe it as. And this is Athens. And then you go over to Corfu, and it's pretty much the same thing again. Corfu town was all decorated up with fake snow, tinsel, baubles, you name it, they'd got it. And I'm thinking, they're leaving us to shame.
That's amazing, yeah.
And you just think, well, that is one thing. You know, obviously it's a deeply Christian country, so I could understand it. But then I went to Sri Lanka the year before the tsunami, and we had Christmas there. And it was so weird eating a curry on the beach on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Turkey curry on Christmas Day. And I'm like, hang on a minute. It's normally
can't
turkey
do it.
curry on Boxing Day, the following day at home. We're eating it on Christmas Day in this glorious sunshine, in shorts and T-shirt. It just, it just didn't feel right.
It was like we went out on a monster truck round the Gambia. So Christmas Day we went on a monster truck ride, and that was so weird. You know, you're sitting in the back of this great big truck, and the little kids are like running right near the wheels for pens and sweets and things, which is really sad. They know the route, so they're waiting for you. And then we end up on this beach with palm trees and everything, and it's just so surreal. And then there's this like English woman just walking by with a dog with a rope round his neck. Because like usually like in that country, like the dogs are just roaming wild. But she'd got a pet dog, so it's kind of unreal, you know. I sort of saw her somewhere else as well. It's like really strange. Like I saw her twice on that holiday, one on this beach and I don't know where, and then one in the capital. It's like, how can you see the same person? But it's really weird. But yeah, what about you then, Nick? What would be your ideal one? Oh, I want snow, by the way. I love snow.
You know what? That's funny you just said that, because that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, snow.
You know, my traditional Christmas, and this is actually something that used to be a reality, was that, yeah, just like you, I want snow as well. We've gotten some snow, but most of the time it only lasts for a day or two, and then it melts. We had some flurries earlier today, but
wow.
I don't think we're going to be expecting a white Christmas this year, as much as I always wanted to see one happen. But that's basically my tradition, a white Christmas.
Yeah.
And just kind of taking it easy myself, being together with the family. Of course, also, like I said, if COVID wasn't being the issue, I would have done a few other Christmas events with friends, a few days before and maybe even a few days after. Be away from work and just, have Christmas music playing, had dinner being made, maybe watch a Christmas film or two, and that's pretty much how I view it. So, see, and honestly, these lights I put together here is basically an alternative to what I'm looking for, because I've actually decided that if we're not going to get a white Christmas this year, why not just create your own? And that's exactly what I did with these projector lights and stuff, because I just found out, I looked at the weather forecast, speaking of which, for this upcoming Christmas, and I couldn't believe what I was seeing. They said supposedly we're supposed to get thunderstorms on Christmas Day. I was like, are you serious right now? I mean, I really had to try to almost like poke my eyes out to see if am I really seeing this? Because
Wow.
I was thinking to myself, oh God, please tell me I'm just looking at it wrong. Is it actually snow and it's like thunder snow? Nope, it's actually a storm.
Oh.
The worst type of weather of them all to occur on Christmas Day.
Oh gosh, yeah, isn't it?
I'm hoping
got
it changes because it's still a few days away, but still, I couldn't believe it.
we've got a lovely question from Carl here. So what's the worst Christmas present you've been given? His was a bike cleaning kit from his brother when he has a car. Okay. That's useful. And Andy also he got a car cleaning kit and he had a bike. You need to swap them, don't you? That's what I'm saying. Oh no, everything's frozen. Hope it goes back. Let it snow, let it snow. There you go. That sounds like a joke, Andy. I don't know if it should be, but it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, I just hope everyone has a good time. That's all. Yeah. Have you got any stories, Wayne?
I've got one that I've just recently written, but I've got to keep that quiet for Christmas Eve.
Oh, of course, yeah.
I do have one that I made up earlier on, which is quite a funny one, really. But I've had to sort of add to it to make it Christmassy.
Oh, go on then.
Well, basically, it's a little tale about a little boy called George, and he was forever telling his sister that Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist.
Oh.
And for years he kept saying the Tooth Fairy doesn't exist and Father Christmas doesn't exist. And it really upset his sister. Well, little did he know that the Tooth Fairy and Father Christmas sat and had a discussion on what they were going to do next.
Wow.
They needed to teach George a lesson. So time went by and George lost a tooth. And his mum said, "You put the tooth underneath the pillow." George was like, "No, I'm not putting it under the pillow. I don't believe in the Tooth Fairy. Just like Father Christmas, I don't believe in them." So very sneakily, his sister put the tooth under the pillow. Following morning, the tooth had disappeared, but nothing was in its place. So George, none the wiser, didn't know nothing about the tooth being there. His sister was quite astonished at the fact that the tooth had gone. But she just thought that maybe the Tooth Fairy was teaching him a lesson by not giving him any money. So carries on as normal. Again, the sister had lost teeth, put the tooth underneath the pillow. George had actually caught his mum putting the 50p under the pillow. So he was convinced there was no Tooth Fairy or Father Christmas. Then one year, Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy said, "Right, this is the plan." So with the plan put into action, one night George went to sleep and accidentally put his head under his pillow. Went to sleep. The following morning he woke up and felt really strange. When he went into the bathroom and looked in the mirror, he had noticed that all his teeth had gone. During the night, the Tooth Fairy and Father Christmas had entered his room and took out all of his teeth without him knowing.
Oops.
This put him into a panic. Doctors, dentists didn't know what was going on because the teeth had been removed. There was no blood, there was no marks or anything like that. All his teeth had gone. Come Christmas morning, George woke up, still none the wiser about what had happened. But again, his face felt funny. He ran into the bathroom in a panic, looked in the mirror, and every single one of his teeth was back.
What?
From that moment onwards, George then believed in Father Christmas and the Tooth Fairy.
Awesome. That's
Wow.
Love it. Yeah. So you're going to be doing a story on Christmas Eve because, like,
Indeed.
I know you said before about how it was traditional to do a Christmas story.
Yeah.
And you bring that back, and you did it last year as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it last year, and you featured in it as well.
I did. I remember.
Yes. And
Very good.
this year we're going with a slight difference. We've actually got Nick with us this year. He's going to be reading a ghost story, and Mark Manley, my fellow co-host from the Dark Mirror, is also going to be reading a ghost story as well. So there's going to be the three of us having a live feed on Christmas Eve.
Ready to go. So
wow.
Christmas stories. And
awesome.
Normally I take, obviously you guys know all too well my collection of scary stories. Normally I don't take these out until they usually only come out during the Halloween season. But because each of these have each of them have a Christmas story in each, I'm willing to make that exception.
Oh. So
yes, it'll be 10 p.m. on Christmas Eve. That's 10 p.m. GMT.
Yeah.
On Christmas Eve on the Wayne Seaton Presents Spooky Nori group.
Right. Yeah, I'll share that.
That'll be about 4 o'clock. It'll be about 4 o'clock my time here, Central Standard Time.
I'm just typing it out so it will go out onto everything. Because you can hear me type. So that's 10 o'clock UK time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just gone out onto YouTube and everywhere. So, yeah.
So I mean, I think, it's... I don't like seeing traditions die.
That's right.
And over the years, the things that we held dearest to us within traditions have slowly been pushed to one side.
That's right.
And they've been forgotten. And it's like telling ghost stories around a campfire.
Oh, yeah. That
things like that. Even them sort of things are slowly disappearing. People go to a campsite now, they'll have a campfire, but they won't tell ghost stories. They'll just toast marshmallows and then go to bed.
Oh, we don't. We're up quite late drinking.
Yeah, there's
and then sing a Bohemian Rhapsody, things like that. But yeah.
There's so many other Christmas traditions out there I know of that have been forgotten. Because if you even look at, and that's even not just the tradition, traditions. There's I've uncovered other stuff that's associated with the holiday, even songs and movies that have been kind of pushed to the side as well. If you even look at, for example, obviously a song that is still popular today around Christmas is, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
Yeah.
Even part of that lyric, part of the song says that there'll be scary ghost stories. And you said, Wayne, you just don't really, and that was recorded about over almost 55 years. No, about 50. 60 years ago.
Yeah.
It came out in 1963. So, even then they still had that kind of tradition, even back in the 60s.
It's like singing Christmas carols and things like that. You don't really do it, do you?
There was a song I just came across last year, was actually playing during I'm sure you guys are familiar with the Yule log, like they sometimes will have on Christmas Day, where so obviously they play a variety of Christmas songs. And there was this one song that played that I've never ever heard before. Again, this actually came out in the late 60s this time. It was just simply called Christmas Is. And I decided to try to look it up on YouTube because I'm thinking, this is actually a really good song. I go on YouTube. There's you can't even find it on YouTube. You can't download it from Amazon or iTunes or anything like that. It's a really hard song to find. So what I had to do at that point, because I really wanted the song on my phone, it was probably about a day or so after Christmas. I waited till everybody was asleep. I turned on the TV, raised the volume up, grabbed my phone and recorded it. It recorded it just so I could have it, that way. And it sounds so clear, you can't tell the difference. That I'm almost considering about uploading that song so it can be available. Because again, a song like this that sounds really good, I think to myself, how did I not hear this all these years ago? Why is it not that popular? It just didn't make sense. So even some songs are starting to become forgotten.
Yeah, that's right. And even the basic skills as well. Back in the day, my gran used to do mince pies or jam tarts. She used to do home baking with pastry. Now people it's losing the skills of that. Like a lot now for convenience, if they don't buy them ready made, then they won't know how to do it. And yeah, it's just,
I
and
can't
it
stand
was
buying
family time
ready-made.
doing that as well, wasn't it?
What were you going to say, Wayne?
I can't stand ready-made. If you can't make it yourself, you shouldn't have it.
Yeah, that's it. What do you do then, Mark? Do you have homemade cooking or?
I'm hoping to this year make some homemade mince pies.
Oh,
Just got ingredients in.
Yeah.
I haven't done it in years, but this year I've told Tracy, yeah, definitely I'm gonna.
It's so nice, though, isn't it? You can't buy anything like that.
Nah,
You know,
I mean,
if you make your own sausage rolls and things.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the supermarkets are full of them, but you know,
They're not the same.
it's not the same thing. Just make your own, and you put your own touch on it as well, which I do love.
It's things like nowadays. It's like pigs in blankets. They're already pre-done, so all you got to do is put them in the oven.
Oh no!
I'm like, I used to love it when my mum used to say, "Right, the chipolatas are there, the bacon is there, go for it." And I'd sit there and I'd roll the bacon around the sausages.
Yeah.
And then, you know, and the problem is you get roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings. Aunt Bessie, there it is. You just buy it in the bag, stick it in the oven, and that's it.
Yeah.
It takes away, again, a tradition of cooking the Christmas dinner. You did things in a certain order throughout the day, and then at the end of the day, you could sit back and go, "That was an amazing Christmas dinner. I loved every bit of that because you made it yourself." You know, if you're gonna cheat, you might as well just buy a ready meal, stick it in the microwave, reheat it, and then go, "Oh, that was a brilliant Christmas dinner. That was." Nah.
See, since we're talking about Christmas traditions, I don't know if you guys know this, and funny enough, it was I was thinking about when you guys were talking, when you mentioned about, I already forgot what it was, but it was something involving, like something involving Poland or something like that. I don't know if you guys know, and this actually kind of almost fits into that category of like scary stories in a way. But I had recently learned that in Poland, like when they decorate their Christmas trees, they actually, I mean, they do a lot of the same things like over like a lot of areas of Europe and over here too, but they actually decorate their trees with spider webs, believe it or not, because apparently in Polish, I was trying to remember what it was. I had to look it up. Apparently, it says in Poland, spiders or spider webs are common Christmas tree decorations because, according to Polish legend, a spider wove a blanket for baby Jesus Christ. In fact, Polish, unlike other countries where we see spiders as pests or people are scared of them, if they have like a phobia of it, but in Poland, Polish people consider spiders to be symbols of goodness and prosperity at Christmas.
Wow. I think Mark was uncomfortable, and his phone was like.
Oh, I guess I didn't know he had a phone.
She died. Forgot to put the 50p in the meter.
Oh,
there he is.
I'm back. Sorry, guys. Gremlins in the works. I'm back.
Yeah, glad you're back. So we've got a couple of jokes now. Yay. Why was Santa's helper depressed? Because he had very low self-esteem.
I like that one.
I like it.
The Christmas spiders, we have one on our tree every year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, like Christmas cakes. Do you have homemade Christmas cakes, Wayne?
No, I can't stand the stuff.
Mark?
Needs to be banned.
No, usually shop bought for me, not homemade.
Do you have homemade one? Nick?
Oh yeah, I wasn't sure who you were asking. Yeah, we basically, well, not necessarily homemade, but we just basically made it. We did again on this Christmas party that I had a few days ago. We made a Christmas tree shaped cake, red velvet and green frosting on the outside with whatever you call those things. Like I can't even remember the name of it, but yeah, we make a cake. It's not necessarily homemade, but either way, we're still
just a job.
Yeah.
That's cool. So what are your plans for the new year then? What is the most exciting thing you're looking forward to next year then, Mr. Grinch?
Well, my New Year celebrations is downstairs in the lounge watching Jules Holland on TV
He's cool.
every year. Yeah, he is cool. We love watching him. And then they'll cut to London with the firework display.
Yeah.
So, yeah. The new year for me, I mean, as I told you before we went on air, my data just filling up really, really fast now. I've got quite a few all over the East Midlands at the moment, East and West.
Wow.
So
Cool.
I'm slowly getting out of East Anglia and my confines in this area, you know.
Yeah.
So looking forward to see what the new year brings.
Awesome. Yeah. And I went outside my comfort zone because I only drive an hour, because after an invest, if you drive more than an hour, I'm usually too tired. But I've sussed it out. So I went to the nunnery a couple of weeks ago, which is an awesome place if you get a chance to go. And it's a 1.5 hour drive, 85 miles. And a double McDonald's espresso. That did it. That kept me awake. It kept me awake when I got home, so I couldn't sleep till about 5 a.m. in the morning. But it worked. But yeah, I think now I can travel more than an hour. It was a special invest. I'd need to go back there. Oh wow! So basically, if you don't know what the nunnery is, obviously by name, but it was left derelict for ages, and then this girl comes in who's got a ghost hunting company, and she's sort of made it safe so that, and she looks after it. You know, everything's fine, so you can go in, investigate it, and it has so much to give. It really does. And they were swearing at us as well, so that actually went viral and hit the US and UK press. So yeah, something told us to as they're doing a nunnery. But there you go. So Wayne, what about your plans?
I'm going to be boring, and I'm going to be doing the same as Mark.
What's right for you, isn't it?
I mean, it's obviously because we've got the 4 children.
Yeah.
They'll be going to bed, and then me and Ellen will probably sit up and the same thing. I'm not really a go outy type person.
No.
In the 7 years
I'm not.
Together, we've never been
I'm not
5 years.
not too keen on going to these parties and stuff like that. I mean, I had the same job as Mark, driving coaches and that, and every New Year's Eve I was working, and I'd end up spending New Year's Eve in Ipswich, sitting in a cold ex-airfield, while the guests were inside having a party, getting drunk and eating food and everything else, and I'd just be sitting there on my phone. You know, like last year and the year before, I think that was the first couple of years now where I've actually been able to be at home on New Year's Eve and been able to be together, and
That's
it's
nice.
you know, and it's nice to do it.
It is, yeah. I used to do that when I was in a couple. Yeah, it was ideal. Or we'd get a couple of mates round. We'd just have a few drinks, have a takeaway, watch Jules Holland or Clive James, was it as well?
Yeah.
Watch the bongs, and that was it. And it's cool.
I mean, I don't drink, so for me, you know, having a drink on New Year's Eve and getting drunk and making a fool of myself, I can do that on Coca-Cola. So I'm not bothered. You know, obviously, as you can see tonight, I am not bothered. I don't need to drink to enjoy myself.
You should have seen me last night. Because I don't know, there was something going around Facebook, and it was that thing where you copy and put names against each other.
Yeah.
So you go to a party, I'm the one holding the food or something. So there's a photo of me now. I went to a party with food, and you took out bits. So there's a photo of me holding food. So we just stopped because I just walked in, and you know, you take in a plate of food, and like everyone was laughing at me. That was before we started, so yeah, it was so funny.
So yeah, I'm just happy to sit on the sofa.
There you go. You've got to do it, haven't you? What about you, then, Nick?
I'm going to have to say Merry Christmas and disappear now because
Oh yeah.
I've got to go off for the Dark Mirror radio show.
Yeah, that starts at 30:30, so we're going to be saying goodbye anyway very soon. So
I've got to disappear so I can get myself ready.
Yes, definitely.
Take care, mate.
So take care, Wayne.
Wish you all a Merry Christmas.
New Year.
Yes, Merry Christmas. I'll see you Thursday.
I'll watch you in a second when. Oh, I've screwed up my thing. But yeah, Merry Christmas from Andy as well.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Have a good time, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you all soon.
Mate.
And
I'll take care. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks a lot. Have a good one. And Andy likes amazing costume, isn't it? I think we've seen Violet before. So Helena, New Year's Eve, we'll be with my mum, my brothers, boys, and Alex. Bo stays awake long enough. We're going to drive to a hill and watch the fireworks. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? But yeah, and it is. It's about making memories. It's about being with your loved ones, isn't it? If you can, or if not, just do what's right for you anyway. And
absolutely.
Definitely.
That's it,
if I could say, real quick, because you were asking me about my New Year. As far as New Year's for me, honestly, don't know yet. But what I can tell you, though, is that, and this is not just for New Year's, this is actually right now as we speak, leading up to yesterday and right after I left to work on Saturday, I'm actually on vacation from work for 2 weeks. Cool. I mean, I am going to be working on Christmas Eve and the day before New Year's, but I'm intentionally working those days because obviously, first off, you get extra pay, but also I know I didn't fully dress up, but I'll be dressing up my Christmas outfit and, believe it or not, even a New Year's outfit that I have. So working those days, yes, it's going to be extremely busy, but it's also among the few days where it's fun to work those days. So, you get pictures with customers, you get pictures with employees.
People are happy.
Sometimes we have snacks. They don't serve because we got a cafe area where they have popcorn. They don't serve us food because, understandably, because it's Christmas Eve, we close early. Yeah. So I think we all get the understand that we're going to be having Christmas dinners or lunches anyway. So, they don't serve us the food, but we still get some good benefits. So other than those 2 days, though, I really don't go back to work till January 2nd. So I get to enjoy a nice, as in spite of my age, I often say, well, it's kind of a throwback to the Christmas or winter breaks that I used to have, when I was younger. So it's once again, and that's what it kind of goes back to what you were saying. It's about cherishing memories and stuff, and even kind of reliving some of those memories. Yeah, it's like reliving some of it. So now, essentially, I don't know if winter break or Christmas break is started for kids yet, but you can kind of say I'm in their world once again. I'm living almost the same way like kids do. So
I think our kids mainly break up on Wednesday. The local ones do. So
it's Wednesday.
Friday.
I think each school.
But all I can say is everyone just have a damn good time. Okay, just do what you want and. I know sometimes you have to do family things, but make time. Sure, you get some time out so you can just do a little bit of you time as well. But memories, Definitely. That's what it's about.
Especially after when you've been spending countless months working a lot, especially for me, because I probably brought it up before. I say this a lot of these shows. I work at a grocery store, so a lot of times it's very busy, especially when it comes to holidays. And you sometimes see these other folks and you just think, man, I really wish I could be not as busy. Well, maybe not. I wish I could be one of them, not having to work, just enjoying the shopping and stuff. But you know what? You eventually do get that chance. And obviously my chance finally came. So after several months working, I'm finally getting that well-deserved break and rest that I deserve. And what better way to do that, obviously? I mean, to have that opportunity than to take it during the holiday Christmas season.
Oh, bless you. And what about you? Any words from you, Mark?
Yeah, I mean, all my work finishes Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much me done. I got back on the 2nd.
Yeah.
Just looking forward to catching up with family, friends.
That's it, isn't
I
it?
mean, I haven't seen my parents in months,
Oh, wow.
but every time I try and plan something gets in the way.
Yeah.
The only day really I've got available is Christmas Eve. So yeah, gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
I do have a lot going on in my private life as well at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to put that to the back of my mind.
That's it. You've got to deal with things the way you can. Like, there's a lot of people.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and you know, you've just got to make the best of these situations or what's happening in the world and personal life. And
oh my word, yeah, absolutely.
Wow, you know, sometimes you're tested, and you know, you get through it, and that's it, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But,
so sometime in the new year, I'm hoping to have a catch up with you again, which I'm sure we will.
Yeah, definitely. Want to investigate with you because it was so much fun.
It is a good laugh, yeah.
It is, yeah. We've had
do have some laughs.
Crazy investigations, haven't we? But yeah, whatever you do, just have fun, everyone, and look after yourself. And have a Christmas, New Year. I'm going to try and do lives. So just do little chats here and there because I have got all those days off. So I don't know. I've got to do something, haven't I? And for some of you, you sort of might be at home, and you know, so come on, let's have an natter. And I'm not that organised to plan it. I'll just come on like randomly because that's what I generally do. I'll go somewhere. I thought, oh, I'll do a live. I don't want to sort of say I'm doing a live and not do it, but then I'll just turn up randomly. So that's what I do. That's why I'm what I'm like. So great costumes, guys. Thanks for making the effort. Wishing you and your family
thanks, Andy.
very, Merry Christmas. Special thanks to Jacqueline. Oh, bless you, for putting on a show most Monday evenings, and thanks to all the guests on the show who have commented through the year in the fascinating venues. But yeah, and thank you to you, Andy, as well, for all your support, because sometimes it is hard to do a show. In fact, tonight was a bit hard to do one, to be fair, but you know, I do it, and you know, it helps, doesn't it? You know, like rather than be stuck at home and getting fed up or whatever, it's just nice to talk to people, isn't it? So for anyone out there, if you are fed up, phone a friend, or if you think a friend's upset or quiet or whatever, just phone them. Just say hello. You know, just get on Messenger. How are you? Just see what you can, because it is a dodgy time of the year, and that's it, isn't it? Just make contact, and yeah.
One thing about it too, because obviously I do this, obviously with most holidays, Jacqueline, obviously, and a lot of other investigators, you guys will eventually be receiving a tag from me soon for my holiday music post, which I'll be doing for Christmas Eve. So
awesome.
Be on the lookout for it. It's going to be a real special one too.
Oh, bless you. Yeah. So when we find Mr. Grinch, he's Black Shuck Paranormal. So on Facebook, Nick Millay, where do we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. Of course, obviously, I really have to say that I'm on the same now. You can find me also on the same network page too. Things Network. So I'm kind of all over the place, and it's awesome now to know that we've now expanded. Now we're broadcasting on Instagram, so that's nice.
Yeah, that's it. I got an invite to do Instagram today. So I wonder if it's the link from you. Yeah. So I went on the show and it says, "Oh, do you want to link to Instagram?" So I don't know which one it was trying to link to. Ooh.
Yeah, we're on at least 6 or 7 different platforms now.
Yeah.
Although eventually, I know Jeremy wants to expand it at least 2 more, but of course, we have to get, I guess, a lot of subscribers or so. I don't know how it works. But
I'm also on Ghost Planet Network as well as YouTube, so the show will go out onto Ghost Planet Network.
Yeah, I know. I know Jeremy was he was saying that again. I'm not sure how it works, but he says eventually we're going to expand, hopefully in the future, to TikTok and also Rumble.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so everyone take care, and the Dark Mirror show is now on Things Network. And goodbye. Have a good one.
Take care, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Don't get as drunk as me. All right then.